Okay, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about men and grief. And before we really get started, let's listen to a song by Randy Newman called Losing You. And as we're listening to it, I'm going to scroll the words through and you can have a look and we'll talk about it after it's over.
Was a fool with my money, and I lost every dime. When the sun stopped shining, it rained all the time. It did set me back some, but I made it through. But I'll never get over losing you. Do you know how much you mean to me? Should've told you, 'cause it's true. I'd get over losing anything, but I'll never get over losing you. When you're young in this time, you forget the past. You don't think that you will, but you do. But I know now I don't have time enough, and I'll never get over losing you. I've been cold, I've been hungry, now for a while. I guess most of my dreams have come true. With it all here around me, no peace do I find, 'cause I never get over losing you. Losing you.
Okay, so what did you think of that song? Was it filled with emotion? I think so. Did he say one word about how he was feeling? Not really. He talked about I'll never get over losing you, but he didn't say sad, he didn't say angry, he didn't say frustrated, he didn't use any kind of feeling words. He just sang about never get over losing you. And this gives us a little bit of a clue about men. Because look at Newman. He's found this is a beautiful song, a song that touches the heart of just about everybody, but he was able to create this song in such a way that he never really said what he was feeling, but you could tell what he was feeling by listening to the song. And this kind of describes my dilemma when I first went to work in the 1970s. And I'd been in graduate school for however many years and got out and was looking for a job. Well, 3 months, couldn't find a job. 6 months, couldn't find a job. 9 months, couldn't find a job. 12 months, there was one counseling center that said, hey Golden, we'll take you. It was a Center for Death and Dying called the St. Francis Center down in Washington, D.C. And I didn't know much about death and dying at the time, but I said, of course, I can do that. Yeah, sign me up. So here I go, off to St. Francis. Guess what? There's 18 therapists at St. Francis. 17 are women, and 1 is a man, me. So what do you think happens? All of the men who come to St. Francis for therapy come to me. The women didn't want to deal with them. Women had all kinds of things they'd say. Men don't deal with their feelings. Men don't this. Men don't that. La, 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 la. Well, I didn't care at the time because I was brand new. All of these men start coming to me. And what do you think happens? Well, I ran into the same problem. Because what I'd been taught to do in graduate school was that you sit and you face each other and you talk about the past. Is that going to go over real well with men? Well, what I found out was, no, it didn't go over real well at all. In fact, it seemed to make them more nervous, seemed to make them not feel like doing anything. And since then, I found out that eye contact with men means something very different from eye contact with women. Eye contact with women oftentimes means closeness, connection. But eye contact with men means what? It means competition. It means hockey has a face-off. Face-off. Boxers face each other. When men face each other, it has to do with their competition. They're struggling against each other. So here I was at St. Francis, sitting across from these men, trying to make eye contact, which is exactly what they taught me to do in graduate school. And it wasn't working. In fact, it was making things worse. And since then, of course, I've found out that eye contact like that from man to man oftentimes does not create a safe place at all. It creates a place that is unsafe for men. It wasn't just the eye contact. Another piece of it was the sitting face to face. Because why would that be a problem for men? Well, because men generally don't feel safe in a face-to-face mode. They feel safe where? In a shoulder-to-shoulder mode. They feel safe while they're on the same team working towards a common goal, particularly a dangerous goal. You know, places like a police department, places like the fire department or the military. These are places where men are working together, shoulder to shoulder, on a common goal. Going fishing, sitting in a fishing boat together. Men can feel closer after a day of fishing without saying one word than you can imagine. And it's all having to do with this shoulder-to-shoulder mode, being close to other men and feeling safe. So men tend to find safety not in the face-to-face, which I was trying to do at St. Francis, but in the shoulder-to-shoulder thing. You know, the other piece that we'll be talking about more as we go along is that what I was doing at St. Francis was pulling people into the past. Oh, let's finish the past. Let's talk about the past. This drives men nuts. How many times have you asked men about their grief, and what have they said? They said, you can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about that. What's he saying? He's saying there's no product, there's no outcome, there's no action that's connected to it. And what I've found since then is that when men connect with their actions, with their grief, that they're pulled into the future. The very opposite of kind of working on the past. You're pulled into the future.